Good Friday morning, everyone. It is April 24th, 2026. So happy you're with us. I'm Valerie Vining. He's Richard Dixon. It is the Dixon and Vining show, and we're getting this day kicked off in a way that, man, we are just jam-packed today, Richard, with all kinds of stuff, giveaways, guests, people we're going to be talking with, lots of stuff in the news. It's going to be a busy day.
And the good Lord has blessed us with another perfect weather day.
Today.
Right up until the rain shows up tonight at about 11.
It looks like partly cloudy skies today. I think most of the morning will be beautiful with sunshine in at 84 is the high. But, yep, West Alabama will begin to see the deluge of rain about 9 o'clock, and then about 11 or 11:30, the Birmingham metro area. And, again, this is different for everybody. I'm just giving you a general time frame here. But 11:30 for Birmingham metro, and it is going to pour. Pour, I say.
Come down, man.
Yep, and then it looks like for our Saturday, it'll still be maybe a little rainy early in the morning, but the high only 78. We're going to have kind of a cloudy Saturday, maybe a little spotty shower here or there. It's nothing any big deal. Sunday, partly cloudy, 20% chance of rain, high of 83, and then another round of really, I'm not saying severe weather. We're just kind of monitoring what it's going to do. But Monday and Tuesday could be days to really make sure you're listening to Talk 99.5.
Be weather aware.
Weather aware would be good.
As they say. Hopefully, tomorrow, we're thinking like this rain is going to move out, and the Bob Sykes Barbecue and Blues Festival is going to be fantastic at DeBartoleben Park. Might get a little shower here and there, but not enough to really disrupt the function. You got to bring your own chair, bring your own blankie, and make yourself comfortable to enjoy 6 solid hours of fantastic blues music from Rick Harris and Dexter Allen and Karen Wolf and Selwyn Birchwood and Lil Ed and the Blues Imperials. Gates open at 11, and the festivities and music begin at noon. DeBartoleben Park, beautiful place. You can get your tickets right now at bobsykesblues.com, bobsykesblues.com. Obviously, they're going to have Bob Sykes Barbecue out there, as well as some other vendors. A lot of stuff, fun stuff to do, fun stuff to see. You will stay busy for as long as you like at the Blues and Barbecue Festival, as long as you're out of there by 6 o'clock when they shut everything down. So we should be able to walk between the raindrops. Looking forward to this. I'm going to be out there myself. This is the Bob Sykes Barbecue and Blues Festival. It is the 15th annual, so they're really putting on the dog for this one. It is brought to you by City of Bessemer and Coca-Cola Unlimited. And again, that's bobsykesblues.com to buy tickets. I'll also be giving a pair of tickets away a little bit later in today's show. All righty, should be a good time all around. That's just one of the many things taking place in the Birmingham metro area. We'll talk about more of that as the day unfolds. But first, Darian is in for Steve West.
Darian!
How you doing, brother?
What's going on, y'all?
Everything good?
You good?
All right. This is the point where you have to push the button to give us the three things.
Yeah, we're going to say,
sounder.
hey, let's hit the
That's
three
right.
things.
Do that.
And hit that button.
And he is looking for it now. It's
That's
over
okay.
there.
We'll get there.
He's going to find it.
Hit my 3 things.
Nobody helps us out.
I know.
You got to go find it.
That's right. I have faith in you, though. Once you find it, you'll know where it is, and you'll keep it in your heart for always, I'm sure.
It'll be there forever. Those 3 things.
Done to get done. And now.
You want me just to dive into it?
You may as well.
Okay.
Well, you'll find it
All right.
eventually. I feel good about this.
Yeah, so if you haven't found it yet, you give up on it, Darian.
Don't give up.
We'll do it next hour.
Never give up.
We're going to have to do it next hour.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Showing up.
All right, here's what we've got. Yeah, a couple of big things in the news. First of all, huge tornado outbreak in parts of northern Oklahoma yesterday. Damage has been reported around the Enid area. Significant damage has been done to homes, as well as structure damage at Vance Air Force Base. Several people were injured in this. It was a monster tornado. If you have not seen images of this thing, it looks real similar to what we saw on April 27th down in Tuscaloosa and what made its way here to the Birmingham area. Just a massive tornado. It's dark, and then everything behind it is all lit up. So it was very easy to see. It wasn't tucked in the clouds. It was just, it was just massive. So those folks, a lot of power out, a lot of damaged homes, and they're going to be doing some cleanup at the Air Force Base as well. But, your hearts go out to the folks there and what they've got to deal with and the cleanup that they're going to have to deal with. So,
Oklahoma is a very flat place.
Yep.
So there's nothing really to stop it.
Nope.
Once the tornado gets going, they have these mile-wide bases sometimes, and it's It's quite frightening. It's
It
just
is.
right there in Tornado Alley, so they're used to it, but that doesn't make it any better.
No, it doesn't. Also, we heard there was a shootout after an argument at a Louisiana mall that left one person dead and 6 injured. This happened yesterday in Baton Rouge, and now 5 people are in custody. 2 groups of people apparently got into an argument inside the food court area of this mall and then started shooting at one another. Innocent people were in the area and were hit by some of the gunfire. The gunfire started about 1:30 p.m. and sent shoppers running for cover into some of the stores. One of the victims is in critical condition while others suffered minor injuries. Police are now reviewing surveillance video and collecting more information to try and determine how many weapons were involved in. Will there be more arrests? So this is just horrific. I mean, imagine that you're sitting in the food court area of any mall across this country. You're enjoying some lunch, and all of a sudden an argument breaks out and guns get drawn. And I mean, we're talking a verbal argument, folks, and they're pulling weapons out. This is loss of life.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to imagine anything someone could say to me that would make me go like, well, I'm just going to have to pull out my gun and shoot. You know, when did we become so sensitive? I'm curious.
That's not what our society is supposed to be doing.
We live in a society, you know.
Have a verbal argument. If you want to take it out to the parking lot and duke it out.
Mm-hmm.
But you're talking about using a weapon that will end life, maybe change yours forever, too.
Guns in the food court, I mean.
Good heavens.
I'm just here for my Sbarro, okay?
Your Sbarro or a Chick-fil-A sandwich. Thank you very much.
Chick-fil-A is no longer in the food court, sadly.
Well, I know. We really need them back there.
Panda Express is there.
Is the one in the Galleria still there, or are they gone?
Think so. No, I think they've moved out. They're all freestanding now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that changes everything.
Yeah, come on, Truett, Kathy. What are you doing?
Yeah. Here's another reason why we need this rain that we're going to get. I'm so glad tonight and tomorrow. Drivers were dealing with the shutdown of parts of I-65 yesterday due to fires along the median in the Clanton area. Now, it may not be for the reason that you think. The northbound lanes before exit 212 to Highway 145 at Lay Dam Road were closed due to a fire.
Mm-hmm.
What the Clanton fire chief said was it appears that a vehicle that was being towed by another vehicle somehow set those fires along the interstate. And I'm thinking to myself, because we've seen this before, where you've got a boat hooked up or something like that, and there's a chain or something, and it's hitting the ground and it's doing sparks. That's what came to my mind, and I don't know if that's the situation with this, but they said they had witnesses going, this thing was going down the road and it was setting the median on fire. So everything was so dry that anything that sparked it, just here we go with a fire.
We still have a pretty good block up, by the way, down there, 65 North at Pelham at the Tank Farm exit. And only one lane is open from what I understand. So they're working on that and should get it cleared before too long. But I don't think that was as a result of a fire in the median. I think this one is actually a wreck.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to be careful. I was actually driving up 459 a few years ago when I saw a wildfire start. I mean, I saw it actually, like I saw the spark that lit the thing, and I called the station.
And you said, hey,
I said, guys,
y'all better
there's
rush.
a fire on 459. Somebody get in touch with someone because I'm driving up the road here and I really can't do anything about it. And by the time I was coming back the other way, there were fire trucks out there. A whole bunch of that median had burned, though.
And here's something else that people don't think about. You know, it's not just like matches and you start a fire or you're burning brush and somehow it gets out of control. There's a million ways that this can happen. It happened here in our parking lot because there's like this hill where people back up their car to. Well, it was very, 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 very dry, like it is right now. And somebody's muffler actually got on some pine straw as the car backed up. It set the whole hill on fire. And you're like, people don't think about that.
Yeah.
And so right now, until we get this rain tonight, just be careful out there.
Listen, you highfalutin backing into parking spaces people. I know you think you're better than everyone else. Stop it.
It's really not about that.
See what happened? Oh, I know what it is. I know what's going on there. You're not
really
fooling
not
anybody.
about that.
Work Trucks is downtown 2324 3rd Avenue South. They've got the truck for you. If you're looking for a workhorse, a truck that really doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, that's not what it's all about. It's about getting the job done. You're going to get vinyl seats. You're going to get rubber floor mats. You're going to get a bass radio. And that's okay because the job is the job and you need a vehicle for it and you don't need it to be fancy schmancy. Fancy schmancy brakes. Work Trucks sells quality trucks that are on the job. and you can find them at great low prices there. 2324 3rd Avenue South, or on their website, Work Trucks with an X, LLC.com. You can trade, you can finance, you can get an extended warranty, all right there at the Southeast #1 pre-owned work truck dealer. That is Work Trucks with an X, LLC.com. All right. Darren, did you ever find the little button? Or,
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, don't do it now.
No, not yet.
We'll save it for
Save
an
it
hour.
for later.
Save it for the next
Yeah,
hour.
just be ready.
Now just go to break. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yes, sir.
.619 Dixon inviting Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. Beautiful, beautiful day. 84 for a high today. Rain tonight obviously cools off tomorrow somewhat. And then, rain on and off over the weekend. Tomorrow morning we're going to have some, but then it should be kind of spotty throughout the day on Saturday. Sunday, yeah, again, little rain on and off, not terrible. Monday and Tuesday, possible severe weather. Just keep an eye out for it. We'll obviously keep you informed here as that picture becomes a little clearer.
Yep, absolutely. And it might be a good day, a good morning to pick up the phone and call Be Dry. If you're dealing with any kind of water issues in your home, I'm not talking like plumbing per se. I'm talking about like the crawl space and basement areas. Those of you that maybe have a dehumidifier that's constantly running, it tells you all the time, hey, there's a lot of moisture there. Let's seal up the areas of your home where you're having to deal with that or cracking in the foundation. With my good friend David Fevet and the folks at Be Dry, in business over 65 years, you got to know if you've been in business that long, you're certainly doing things right. And I believe that Be Dry absolutely is doing things right, taking care of people all across central Alabama. Budget-friendly solutions here. It's easy to get a free quote, and that's important to do. Let these guys come out, kind of assess what's going on, see what needs to be fixed or repaired, and they'll explain that to you. Set up a time that's convenient for you and give you that free quote so you know exactly what they're going to do and when they're going to do it and how they're going to do it. 205-942-1976. Ask them, too, about the strongest lifetime warranty in the business that they will hand you as soon as they get the project done. It's Be Dry is who you want to call, 942-1976, or you can find them online and look up a little bit more about them. BeDryAlabama.com, BeDryAlabama.com.
How about a big thumbs up and a round of applause for Ty Simpson going 13th
That was huge.
in the NFL draft last
Didn't see
night.
that one coming.
Yeah, very impressive. There were a lot of questions about whether or not there'd even be two quarterbacks in the first round, but to go top 15, and he went to me, one of the premier teams of the NFL, the Rams. When I think about my youth, my childhood, there were a handful of teams that were considered elite teams. The Rams was one of them. Vikings, Green Bay, Dolphins, Cowboys. Patriots weren't even in the picture back then. They were like a joke back then. Now, obviously, things have changed. But I got to give him props. I think even he was surprised to find himself go that quickly into a team that's that good.
Yeah, congratulations to Ty.
Here's a sign that you're really getting old. When I heard this morning that Matt Stafford was 38, I was like, what?
Yeah,
Didn't he just graduate? Like, what? I remember when he was playing college ball. How can that? Oh, right, I'm old.
he got gray in his beard now.
Yeah, oh, man. So do I. Shut up.
Yeah, and a bit of a celebration for Fernando Mendoza going to the Raiders. That was of course we all knew he was going to be the number one overall.
Oh, of course,
pick.
yeah. I mean,
But
Heisman Trophy winner,
National champion.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Nice job.
Should be really, really interesting, good, strong. The only reason I ever watch the NFL is because I know where some of these guys played college ball, and I root for them because of that. If I have a team, it's still the Vikings. Grew up with them, not going to leave them now.
No.
KOC,
What
the
you know
coach
and
over
love.
there, they're still hapless.
Yeah.
They still manage to get, maybe the first round of the playoffs and then get knocked out. That's just how they've been rolling. They've been to 4 Super Bowls. They lost all 4 of them. At least they're not the biggest losers. The Bills remain the biggest losers. Congratulations to that. But, yeah, cool stuff there. Congratulations to Ty Simpson, and I hope things turn out very well for him. It's an offense that is fairly similar to what he was running at Alabama, and I think he'll probably fit in well there. But he's not going to get any starting reps for a couple of years. I'm pretty sure he's going to be behind.
We've seen crazier things happen.
Oh,
so
yeah,
just
absolutely.
Just wait and see.
Yeah. Well, Stafford at 38, that's going to be by 40, I think, for the most part, you're like, you know what? I'm done. My body's had enough. I can't do this anymore. It's 2 more seasons of being in a car wreck every play, every week. Gets a little wearing on you. Home Depot is letting go of traditional store feature, introducing a new customer support system. Anybody who's ever been on the phone with customer support and screaming, "Representative! Representative!" And I'm sorry, I can tell you're frustrated. Tell me a little more about your problem. You're like,
stop acting so calm.
This is annoying. I was recently dealing with an AI helpline situation with Ring Camera. And while they did not manage to resolve my issue, I was fairly impressed because it said, Matt, the AI voice on the other end, said, in a few words, tell me what your issue is. I said, I can't register my
cameras.
Yeah. I can't get my account going on your app. Oh, that must be frustrating. Well, that's talking, what seems to be the problem. It was talking to me like a human being, although I could tell it wasn't a real human being. But it took about 2 seconds after I would say things for it to respond. It understood what I was saying, and it gave me a response that was not outside the realm of reality. If you've ever been, now sometimes they do have these chat bots. It was an automated system that would trigger one or another response. They would have 5 or 6 or 8 different responses. And if your problem didn't fit into one of those responses, it was really frustrating. And you'd be sitting there pressing 0 going, I need a human being. I need a human being. I need a human being.
Well, this is the next step.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a human being and it's more than 3 choices, you've got AI that can maybe solve it better than a human being.
Yeah. Like I said, it wasn't able to resolve my issue because of the nature of it. But it was still worlds better than talking to one of these automated systems. Now, my problem is, are they going to cut back on the number of humans that are available? Because eventually you want to get to a human being. Eventually you want to, if you can't get your situation resolved, you want to get to a human being who really knows what they're doing. It's easier said than done. And you want them to kind of be able to say, okay, calm down. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try this, and if that doesn't work, then I'm going to try that. Whereas the AI is kind of like programmed. Here's the thing. Artificial intelligence, it does learn as it goes, supposedly, but it still only knows what it's been programmed for.
And you have to kind of feed it.
Yeah.
You have to know specifically what to feed it in order to get the result that you want.
Yeah.
If you don't have the right words in there, you don't present it correctly, then you might not get
I can
resolution.
still see within a year these things improving exponentially because, like I say, they do learn as they go, and that's pretty cool. But one of the things that I read the other day about ChatGPT is that it tends to be biased toward the user. In other words, it will agree with you on things, even if they're wrong.
Yeah, and that you don't need that.
And it will agree itself right into a spirally hole. And you're like, hey, ChatGPT, this is not okay. You're not really teaching me anything or telling me anything. You're just
You're just agreeing with me. I don't need that.
You're trying to make me feel good.
I mean, I don't
want to
get in a fight with you, but certainly I need a little help.
No, Skynet. You don't want to pick a fight with Skynet if you can avoid it.
Let's not fight.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, guns will be drawn. And you're sitting in a mall.
Does ChatGPT have access to guns? That frightens me. I don't want them to have that. I don't want them to have access to guns.
No.
What happens when the AI gets much smarter than us and realizes it's smarter than us?
I don't know about that world.
Yeah.
That's the world that I'm like, we got to control this.
Well, it's war games with Matthew Broderick, where the computer is just kind of like.
Don't watch that movie right now because it will freak you out.
You humans are a virus and you have to be dealt with. What? We made you.
What are these robots that are running these races?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so creepy.
Oh man.
Or the robot that was trying to chase the wild boar,
Yeah.
and then it finally gave up and waved at him as they ran off. I was like, this is so weird.
It was a Jewish robot. It was like, Feh. Done.
I give up.
There was a robot that lost a nut, I believe, as it was moving up the road.
Excuse me?
And then spun itself out of control, like it just fell apart, like it just
like a bolt.
It tore itself to pieces. It was so upset. It was like, wow, okay, calm down. Jeez.
Yeah, I think we use bolt instead of nut.
Nut or bolt, it doesn't matter, either one. There's both of those things.
It's a robot.
DrivewayWashing.com. Wash is so much more than driveways. They do siding. They do roofs. You ever think about cleaning your roof? Pretty good look, man. Stain removal and siding, gutter cleaning, rust removal, outdoor window cleaning, patios, decks. They do it all, and, of course, driveways, too. Owned by Cody for more than 11 years, DrivewayWashing.com can take care of your problems, whether they're residential or commercial. They do a lot of commercial work as well. Free estimates? Just dial or text 915-0646, 915-0646 for DrivewayWashing.com. You're going to love the estimate. The job will take maybe 3-4 hours. You don't even have to be there while he's doing it. It's pretty cool. DrivewayWashing.com. Visit them online to find out more about them. Best thing about when Darian fills in is the bumper music does not change at all. It's exactly like when Steve's here, isn't it? It's amazing.
It's just different styles. I kind of
What?
like
Different
the change
style?
up.
Sounds
I
exactly
like
the
it.
same to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pardon me, I'm just ready to go see the Michael
Yeah, I was
Jackson
about to
movie.
say, I bet he's preparing for the movie.
That's all that is. Yeah, it's just-
You going to see it this weekend?
That's the plans.
Get that fedora popcorn.
The hat, popcorn hat.
bucket.
Oh, yeah, so they doing that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I got to do that.
It's like $23. Get your wallet out.
I mean, hey, look,
for popcorn.
popcorn is $23 anyway. I'm telling you. You go to the movie theater, you're going to pay through the nose for that popcorn, baby.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
6:35, Dixon Dividing Talk 995, talk995.com.
Speaking of money, a lot of times we don't focus on what's going on with our finances. Maybe you've socking away some money into a 401k going, yeah, I'm good. What about have somebody put a financial plan together to make sure that you are headed down a road that is going to be extremely productive in your working years? And that's really what our goal is. To in those years you are making the money and day in and day out, let's make sure your investments are where they need to be to grow the most and to also have everything covered for later on in life. And that's what it's all about with Danny Knowles and the Knowles Group. Thank you, Danny, for sponsoring our Jawbone Jam this year. We love that. And your group is just fantastic. Check out their show this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday, 2 to 3 p.m. both days. It is a great show they put on, and it's just an hour long, but there's all kinds of great information. Then reach out to Danny Knowles and let him customize a plan for you. So you kind of have direction. You kind of know where you're going, and you've got somebody on your side that's going to be checking all this out as well, because this is what they do. Financial planning is so important, so get it done today. Danny Knowles and the Knowles Group, theknowlesgroup.com. That's N-O-L-E-S. Once again, their website, theknowlesgroup.com.
Davey checks in and says they want civilized people to walk into the Galleria unarmed. Yeah, I'm with you. I feel you, brother. I do. It's just amazing to me in this day and age that so many people just go, well, the only way to resolve this is to pull out my gun and shoot somebody. You're like, really? Really? That's the only way to resolve this? Are we that incapable of thinking past the end of our nose about what is going to, what do you think is going to happen next? What is your thought process?
I don't think that they've thought through it.
You know the impression you're going to go home and watch TV after this? That's not going to happen, okay?
No.
You're going to be picked up by police. You're going to be taken downtown. You're going to be held there indefinitely. You're going to be put in front of a judge, and you're probably going to be held in what we call a controlled environment for many, many years because you fired a gun in a public space. What the hell are you thinking? Oh, you're not thinking. That's the problem. I mean, it really is astounding to me. How are we raising these kids? How did we get to this point?
I don't know. It's jaw-dropping. There's no question about it because, again, and there were innocent people in that mall in Baton Rouge that were shot yesterday. People that were just, shopping or getting a bite to eat or whatever they were doing. And you've changed their lives forever because, they've had to deal with that situation. That's going to be ingrained with them forever. If they have an injury, you got one person dead, and you've got 5 people that have been arrested, and there may be more.
Yeah.
Your lives are forever changed.
Congratulations. All because somebody dissed you.
Give me a break.
You showed them.
Move on.
Well done, idiots. Sean says, if you're backing into a parking space, you're a psycho, and I don't want to know you. I agree, Sean.
Oh, Sean.
Oh, you backing
Wow.
people. You people who back into parking spots, you think you're better than everyone else. Bob says, back in my day, you could say a your mom joke, and it would be okay. Now the youngsters are so soft and happy to have guns. I tell my son, he's lucky he's a Marine, but there's a thin line between murder and self-defense. Yes, that is true. It's a thin line.
Got to be really careful with that and be prepared that if you're going to pull that weapon, you're going to use it, and you're going to use it in the right way, and that's for defense. If it's not for defense, you're going to land up in jail just like these 5 are in jail.
Roger says, now, wait a minute. Is the new guy going to have a Steve's turn? If not, I'm going to be depressed. We're going to be depressed, Roger, because we're going to be chatting with
we're
chatting with a political candidate at 9 o'clock. It is George Childress, Republican for lieutenant governor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going on there. Dumbass parents should be charged, says Tom. Yeah, there you go. Charge the parents for raising their kids poorly. That's what I say. That'll teach them. Or maybe not. Medical marijuana could soon be easier to get in the state of Alabama. They're working on that. And then also Donald Trump is reclassifying medical marijuana as a less dangerous drug. A major policy shift long sought by advocates who said cannabis should never have been treated like heroin by the federal government. You know the story, and I don't know whether it's a true story or not, but it had to do with the manufacturing of hemp and rope in World War II, and in an effort to make sure that, I think it was the cotton people who were like, well, we don't want that hemp to invade upon us, so they basically lobbied Congress to make marijuana illegal or to put it on the same level as heroin, so that hemp could not be produced, so that they couldn't produce hemp rope, so that basically cotton and that style of rope would be the only one that was available to be used during World War II. It's amazing how many things are kind of done out of personal interest, shall we say.
Yeah, that would definitely be if that story is true.
Yeah. Marijuana is certainly nowhere near as harmful as heroin. It's certainly not as addictive as heroin. Now, it is a bit of a problem in that it's easy to get high and do nothing all day. And that does not make you a productive member of society.
Well, and it's the same thing with alcohol. I mean, these two really are pretty, and there are plenty of people that will argue that maybe recreationally use marijuana. They're not anything like. There probably are not two things that people in a recreational way use that are that close. You shouldn't smoke pot and drive. You shouldn't smoke pot and run any heavy machinery.
Yeah.
Same thing with alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we have the, don't drink and drive.
Yep.
It probably is the same thing with marijuana.
It's right there on the NyQuil box.
Yeah.
It says don't operate heavy machinery.
Yeah, don't do that.
After you do this, and the same is true with don't smoke up and go plow the back 40.
Just stay home and order a pizza.
There you go.
Know what I mean?
Two probably.
Get a couple bags of
Probably
Doritos or
two.
something like that.
Knock yourself out.
And you'll be good to go.
Sit down and watch cartoons and laugh your ass off.
And don't do it all day long.
No, and that is the
You
problem.
really will waste your life
But,
away.
it's kind of funny because you think that the attitudes have changed. I've long been an advocate for reasonable legal marijuana.
What would that
with
be?
serious guardrails.
Yeah.
Well, things like, if someone's driving down the street and they're token up, a police officer should be able to pull them over.
You need to go to your tokens place.
Yeah.
This is not it.
No, in the car, behind the wheel, while you're driving, not acceptable. Now, the problem is it's difficult to know whether or not somebody who's driving smoked up at home and they're high.
Well, you can probably smell it on them.
Yeah, maybe. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're high right now. That's part of the problem. There's not really a good. Here's the test, actually. What you do is you have them roll up the window, and then you hold a bag of Doritos on the other side.
See if they come and attack you.
If they break the window to get to it, then you know these guys are high. This is
yeah, that's one way to do it. I don't know. It was interesting, though, that these two stories popped up literally at the same time yesterday.
Sure. Yeah. Well, look, I'm glad that it is happening because I think it is more reasonable. I think that, Jeff Sessions was a perfect example of a guy when he was Attorney General. He was speaking out against marijuana all over, saying, it's a gateway drug and it's terrible and it opens the door to people, moving on to cocaine and crack and heroin. And you're like, really? That's a leap, man.
Well, you could say the same thing with alcohol.
Absolutely.
That, hey, somebody starts out with a beer or a glass of wine. The next thing they're chugging a whole big gallon of vodka or something.
Hookers and blow.
It's the same thing.
There you go.
It could be the lead to that.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, we're adults, and you get to lead your life in a manner that you so choose.
Well, we are slowly but surely getting away from the old school, old guard people who believe that marijuana is as dangerous as heroin. Reefer Madness, classic film. If you've never seen it, it's hilarious. No one is going to get high and rob you unless you have a sandwich. If you have a sandwich on you,
yeah, they might take that from you. Plus, they're not going to move very fast trying to get away.
True. Richard the cop
Richard
is with us here on Talk 99.5 with Dixon Devine. What's up, Dick?
So, going to give y'all some inside information from an Uber driver that knows.
Okay.
Amazon does not test for marijuana.
No drug testing, huh?
And the reason, they drug test for everything else, but they don't drug test for marijuana. I had one of their upper level people in Birmingham in the car tell me if they tested for marijuana, they couldn't hire nobody.
Wow.
Number two, I have dropped people off going to work in that Bessemer Amazon where they work with all those big robots, smelling like the She just came out of a marijuana house fire.
Wow.
And I dropped the drivers off at the other Amazon at Century Plaza, getting in the truck to deliver on the streets, smelling like the same thing.
Oh, my.
Are those self-driving trucks?
We hope.
I will retire for life.
Cutting in and out.
You're
there,
cutting
Richard.
out there, Richard.
Uh-huh.
We missed you. All right. Thanks for the
All
call,
right,
brother.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for the call,
Had to
Richard.
cut
Sorry
you
you were
loose there.
cutting out.
Yeah. This would explain why that same day and 2-day delivery has just fallen off.
Right, when you thought it was supposed to be there yesterday afternoon,
That's
and
right.
it shows up 2 days later.
Oh, yeah. So,
A little
because
slow
the
delivery.
guy is high as a kite. That explains it.
He had to pull over and eat his Doritos.
646 with Dixon and Vining. Debbie Slissel joins us next to talk a little bit about what's happening at the movies. Oh, yeah. The Way You Make Me Feel, a lovely
Gone girl.
song of love written for a 4-year-old boy.
Richard.
What? I'm sorry.
Man,
No?
don't do
Everybody's
that,
trying to get their mind right for the movie.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah,
Don't
yeah.
do that, Richard.
But
Can't
I
do that,
don't
man.
know.
None of that stuff makes the film, by the way. None of it. None of the accusations, none of the trial, nothing. Nothing. It's like it didn't exist in Michael Jackson's world. You'll have to go Finding Neverland if you want to do that. Or Leaving Neverland. I think it's Leaving Neverland, right?
Which is it?
Yeah. Yeah. 6:51 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Joining us now on the phone line where we interview people. It's Debbie Schlussel, DebbieDoesMovies.com, DebbieDoesPolitics.com. We're focusing on the movies. Hello, Debbie. How are you?
Hi, doing great. Good morning. Did you see the movie, Michael?
I did not.
Mm-mm,
I have
haven't
not
seen it
yet
yet.
seen
Okay.
it. Mm-hmm.
Well, I did see it. You are absolutely correct. None of that is in the movie. But that's what I expected. I knew it was going to be a somewhat propaganda film kind of movie because it's produced by one of Debbie Rose and the Jewish dermatologist / Michael's son, Prince Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
and also the 4 surviving brothers of the Jackson 5. So, of course, it's going to be propaganda. Now, I did enjoy it nonetheless because I came into it knowing what it's going to be. I have to say it was, I thought, pretty well done. It was a little long and a little slow at points. It was 2 hours and 1 minute. They probably could have cut 20 minutes off of it. But it's got all the big hits. It has the whole story from the beginning of Gary, Indiana until Michael decides to leave the Jackson 5 tour, even the reunion tour. There was a lot of cartoonish stuff in it. There's a totally unrecognizable Mike Myers as the Jewish president of CBS Records, threatening MTV to put Michael's videos on.
Uh-huh.
And it was a total stereotype of Jewish people, and Michael had a history of anti-Semitism. And there just were other cartoonish figures. It's very heavy-handed against Joseph Jackson. And sure, he's probably was a bad guy, and we know that he probably did beat Michael Jackson, but there is no redeeming quality about him. And I hate these movies about real-life people where that person's dead and can't respond or defend themselves. I mean, it was so over the top. It was almost cartoonish. And at times, Coleman Domingo definitely is the star of the movie as Joseph Jackson. I think that Jafar Jackson, Jackson's nephew who plays him, was very good. But part of it is hard to tell if it's his acting skills or very good makeup artists and prosthetics and very good computer-aided voice. He sounds exactly like Michael Jackson because they used a computer-generated voice.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good dancer. They used Michael Jackson singing. So they basically used a lot of Michael Jackson to make him like Michael Jackson. Half the time, Coleman Domingo as Joseph Jackson looks exactly like Joseph Jackson. But then the other half of the time, he looks like either Rick James in his older life before he died, or he looks like Eric LaSalle in Coming to America. So I kind of chuckled to myself on that. But I did enjoy the movie. I think it covers a lot of different ground. But yes, the drugs, they did hint in one scene towards the end at the drugs. There's nothing about the molestation. They had to spend millions actually redoing the movie because they mentioned the name of one of the alleged victims when they originally shot this.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're talking about a part 2, but I doubt it because I don't know how they do that and completely whitewash Michael Jackson like they did to the point where they did this. I still enjoyed it, like I said, knowing all that and going into it. So I think you'll like it. I grew up in the 80s and this late 70s, and I think if you enjoy 80s nostalgia, you'll like the movie. The sets, the clothing, all that, I think it was spot on.
Cool.
A lot of famous people have cameos in the movie. Berry Gordy, Diana Ross. I mean, not the real people in playing them.
Gotcha.
So I enjoyed it. The other new movies this weekend, which are all going to drown in the trail of Michael, because I think it's going to be a big hit, Um, I'll start with the one I like the best, which is called Fuse. This is a very good thriller. It's about an hour and 37 minutes. I was not bored for a second. Very suspenseful, very clever, although there are a lot of things in it that are very unlikely and they'd have to happen exactly a certain way. Um, a construction site in London uncovers a bomb from World War II that has not yet blown up. They have to clear the whole neighborhood, but things aren't as they seem. I kind of figured out what was going on towards the beginning, but I still liked it a lot. There's this mysterious group of men that remain in the neighborhood, and you don't know why. I thought it was very well done. There are a lot of English stars in this. Aaron Taylor Johnson, the rumored next James Bond, Gugu and Batha Raw. I think you'll like it if you like a good thriller. This was a very fast-paced one. Fuse. Then there is Mother Mary. I hated this movie. It's absolutely awful. It's high-quality Gitmo torture cinema. It stars Anne Hathaway as this, like, I guess you would say Taylor Swift-style star maybe 10 years later. It goes in the middle of the night or in the middle of a very raining evening to an estranged former friend of hers from childhood who strangely has an English accent while she doesn't. And she tells her she wants a dress for some appearance. And then the whole rest of the movie is basically a long conversation about how they're taken over by ghosts and about their lamenting their former friendship and just talking nonsense. It was so long and boring. I literally looked at my phone literally every 2 minutes saying, is it over yet? Is it over yet? It's like I felt like a kid in my parents' car. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? It was so bad. Do skip this movie at all costs. Mother Mary. And then there is Over Your Dead Body, which stars Jason Segel and lesser-known woman whose name Samara Weaving, I think her name is, as a couple who goes to their family vacation home to kill each other. And then other things happen where they don't do that. It was just very gross and disgusting and boring and awful. It's not fun. I thought this was going to be a good dark comedy. It isn't. It's not barely funny, and it's just absolutely awful and gory. For no point, I hated this movie. And then finally, I really liked this movie called I Swear. It's an uplifting movie about a guy who has Tourette's syndrome in England. True story.
Oh, yeah.
Very touching and moving, very entertaining. I swear. I recommend it.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Very interesting. All right, great. Debbie, got a couple of good choices there. Michael seems to be the big one, but if you want to stay away from the crowds, go see Fuse. I like it.
Fuse looks really good.
Thank you, Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you, and we'll do it again next Friday.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You
too.
There you go. Debbie Slissel. Debbie does.
I was watching the trailer Fuse as she was describing it.
Yeah.
I think that's right up all of our alleys.
Looks interesting.
Looks really good.
All right, coolio.
Yeah.
I'm going to be tied up this weekend, so there's no chance that I'll get out to the movies at all, but which is a shame because,
It's
a couple of things
kind of
I would like to.
for
I
it.
wanted to see Normal, and I don't think I'm going to make it to the theater. I'm going to have to see that when it streams, I guess. 7 o'clock with Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. We've got another 3 hours here, so, a lot on our plate. Stick around. Good morning, Birmingham. It is Dixon Divining on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. 7:06 our time. Beautiful day in store today. We're talking about 84 degrees for a high with mostly clear skies, but it does get a little dicey later when the rain begins to come down, and it will. That'll happen about 11 o'clock tonight in our neck of the woods. Right now, we have got the Pentagon giving us a briefing. This is Secretary of War Pete Hegseth coming to us live from the Pentagon, briefing on Operation Epic Fury. Let's go to that live, shall we? Shall we? We shall.
It's
Okay, I can't push a button, Darren. You have to do it. You're the man you've got all the controls. You're the guy with the, okay. Maybe we won't go there live.
Let me go in there and check.
All right. I know you've got it down. Yes, indeedy. Well, Darian doesn't do this every day, so he doesn't know which one of the buttons are we supposed to be pushing. That's the problem. So hopefully we can get this up and running. I know there is a slider on the board that actually makes that happen. So in the meantime, we'll worry about some of the other stuff we got going on today. Like, for instance, coming up, we're going to be chatting with Democrats for U.S. Senate Kyle Sweetser. All right, here we go. Live and direct from the Pentagon.
They don't control anything. They're acting like pirates, acting like terrorists. They're the ones who lay indiscriminate mines, who shoot at random ships, who killed 45,000 of their own people, innocent protesters, in the course of weeks. Their own people. They are the bad actors. The vessels that the Iranians seized in recent days, a couple of them, they're not American ships. They're not Israeli ships. They're just random ships that drove their little speedboats up to and shot at those ships with AK-47s. Anyone with a speedboat, a gun, and the wrong intentions can do that. They know that we, the United States of America, control the flow of global shipping. And we know that they know. Their real navy is at the bottom of the Arabian Gulf. It's worth saying again, for 47 years, Iran has been at war with America, killing our citizens, our soldiers, and our allies, while previous administrations looked the other way. The real endless war is the war that Iran has waged on us for 47 years. President Trump is the only president with the guts and moral clarity to finally do something about it. I see it every day behind closed doors. President Trump's fortitude is unshakable, and his mission is crystal clear. President Trump said it again yesterday. We have all the time in the world, and we're not anxious for a deal. And I hear him say it every day in private as well. Iran knows that they still have an open window to choose wisely. As we said previously, choose wisely at the negotiating table. All they have to do is abandon a nuclear weapon in meaningful and verifiable ways, or instead they can watch their regime's fragile economic state collapse under the unrelenting pressure of American power. A blockade as long as it takes, whatever President Trump decides. Because the bottom line remains the bottom line. Iran will never get a nuclear bomb. The choice is theirs, but with this blockade, the clock is not on their side. Moreover, President Trump has authorized the United States Navy to destroy any Iranian fast boats that attempt to put mines in the water or disrupt passage through the Strait of Hormuz, to shoot and kill. Our commanders have clear rules of engagement. If Iran is putting mines in the water or otherwise threatening American commercial shipping or American forces, we will shoot to destroy. No hesitation, just like the drug boats in the Caribbean. It's also worth saying, this should not be America's fight alone. We barely use the Strait of Hormuz as a country. Our energy doesn't flow through there, and we have plenty of energy. Just look at the new global Congo line headed to Texas. A beautiful picture. Europe and Asia have benefited from our protection for decades, but the time for free riding is over. America and the free world deserve allies who are capable, who are loyal and who understand that being an ally is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. We are not counting on Europe, but they need the Strait of Hormuz much more than we do, and might want to start doing less talking and having less fancy conferences in Europe and get in a boat. This is much more their fight than ours. On this core mission, America's will is unshakable, our capabilities unmatched. Our blockade is only growing and going global. And as the president said, we have all the time in the world. Iran has a historic chance to make a serious deal, and the ball is in their court. Either way, the War Department stands ready for what comes next, locked and loaded. May God continue to bless our warriors each and every day and on each and every mission. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
All right, there you go. That is Pete Hegseth doing his briefing at the Pentagon, talking about how we control the Strait of Hormuz, and we're going to start blowing up boats that are laying mines. I would like to see us also blow up some boats that are attacking ships, if possible. You know, we could really kind of shut down this whole concept of Iran controlling the Strait of Hormuz if we just, we've got the drones. Why don't we just go ahead and send them out there and let them do what they've been doing to these speedboats coming up from Venezuela for a while now.
And apparently we have the guns to take down the drones now, too.
Yeah, apparently we brought those along.
It's kind of cool.
It's always nice to have. It would really help clear the area, obviously, if we decided to go in and guns blazing, as it were, see if we couldn't take care of the very things that are keeping us from achieving the goals, like keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. Now, I just read a piece moments ago by a guy who his entire career has been wrapped around Iran, watching Iran's economy, understanding how Iran's economy works, and in conjunction with other, obviously, countries in the Middle East and trade partners and so on and so forth. I don't know. I guess you pick a specialty and you go with it. And he's, in one of these think tanks.
Yeah.
And he says, we have never been in a better position with more leverage over Iran than we have right now. We've got diplomatic leverage. We've got economic leverage. We have got destructive leverage. He said they are very much on the brink. I don't know how long you can stay on the brink. We've been hearing on the brink for quite some time now. But this guy, who this is his entire life, says
we're right at it.
We're not far away from the utter and complete collapse of the Iranian society / government.
And that might be why Donald Trump right now is he has that information, and he's trying to slow roll this just to see if that is what transpires, is that it all collapses.
Sure, yeah.
And then you've got everything you want. So
that would be good. We'll see. We'll see if this takes place over the course of the next couple of weeks. And I think a lot of us wanted this to be done before we got to the end of April. It is entirely possible that it still gets done before we get to May. That's only a week from today, May 1st, 1 week from today. But the president also has an extra 30 days in his pocket if he needs them. And it's difficult to imagine that this would go beyond June. I know there are folks out there who are like, it's just another forever war.
No.
If that's true, you haven't been paying attention.
Right.
You really
if
haven't
anything,
been
that, the hope is to get this done sooner than later. But now we know, we have a clear picture as to why things are right where they're at, why there's a hold. Because a lot of people are like, well, the ceasefire is over. Donald Trump just needs to go ahead and blow everything up. Well, he's trying to show the world that he's trying to use some diplomacy here and see if he can get Iran to come to the table. And if they don't, then maybe the collapse of the economy is the answer to this. And if it is, okay, well, now you didn't have to blow everything up, the bridges, the power plants, and everything else. What you need is a collapse of this regime.
Yeah, think of it this way. If you're flying over and you're dropping bombs, they can shoot back, okay? Maybe they don't have a lot of rockets to do it with. Maybe they don't have it was basically a shoulder-fired missile that brought down that plane with the two guys that we had to go hunting for a couple of weekends ago for Easter Sunday. But if you close off their ability to trade, make money, sell anything, bring in capital, they don't have a way to fight against that. There's just nothing that they can do. They are just going to have to sit there and take it And when you reach the point where the military hasn't been paid in a few weeks and the police haven't been paid in a few weeks, and there's a lot of people there who just are not getting a paycheck and can't feed their families and whatnot, you tend to take that out on your own people at that point.
Well, and the other thing they're dealing with is the 15,000 strikes that not only the U.S. but Israel made.
Yeah.
You think about there's been a lot of destruction and
can't rebuild
chaos
if you
in that
ain't
area.
got money.
Right.
You can't rebuild if you ain't got money. Speaking of money, how would you like some for the property that you're trying to sell? It could be a piece of undeveloped real estate. It could be a home, maybe your home, maybe someone else's home. It could be a commercial building. Maybe you are in what we call a piece of undivided ownership property. What exactly is that? That's where you and your nephew and your uncle and your brother all own the same piece of property. It's 4 owners. And you can't do anything with it unless all 4 of you agree. And really, if it's just sitting there, okay, if it's a piece of property that is just sitting there, it's not an asset. I mean, think about it. You're paying property taxes on it. You're not making any money off of it. It's not an asset. It's really kind of a drag on your finances. You guys could get together and put that up for auction through Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing. They do this all the time, moving undivided ownership property. And then you can split the largesse when it's all over. If one of you would like to buy it out from the other 3, they can join the bidding process as well and be a part of the fun. And, you know, when you're talking about bidding, you literally are having a bidding war for every single piece of property that Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing puts up for sale. Visit gtauctions.com to find out more, gtauctions.com. Even if you already have a real estate agent, you've already got a listing agent, you can bring them along and educate them as well on the joys of property auctions through Granger Thaggart Auction Marketing, gtauctions.com.
That's all you need. Little Michael Bublé for a Friday morning.
Yeah, it's all Michael today. It's Michael Jackson, Michael Bublé.
Is that what we're doing? All Michaels?
Yeah, it's all Michael music.
We're going to hear some Michael Bolton?
Probably, a little bit.
know,
Supposed to live without
Is he still alive?
I believe he is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't he ill?
He was,
sick
yeah.
or
He
something?
pretty bad. He got like a brain tumor or something like that.
I always thought Michael Bolton, and Luke from General Hospital could have been brothers.
Maybe
Then
they
Luke
were.
passed away. Wasn't it Luke that passed away from General Hospital? I don't know.
You're
his
talking
real
about
name.
Anthony Geary?
Anthony.
Yeah.
Didn't Anthony pass away?
Anthony,
Yeah.
I believe he did.
I always
yes.
thought those two looked very similar.
All righty. This just
We
took a
went down the
hard
Michael Road and
left turn, didn't it? Oh.
Let's try it again.
All righty.
All right, lots of rain, folks, and we are looking at tonight, about 9 o'clock, West Alabama for Birmingham Metro, 10:45, 11:30, somewhere in there. It is going to be a downpour. When I think of a downpour, I'm hoping and praying that your gutters are working flawlessly, because this is going to be a lot of water. And that water for your gutters needs to be drained away from the foundation of your home. That is so, so, so important. Noble Contractors and Daniel know that. Daniel is a wonderful guy. He's going to be able to do all kinds of gutter work for you. If you need repairs, he can do that. If you need new gutters, the downspouts, the gutter covers that go with the gutters, he's got all of that. And they come in a lot of different colors too. Maybe you're really particular. You want to do something different that really makes your house pop. He can absolutely do it. But it's nice to know when there is this situation where we're going to have some winds and that sort of thing. If you've got trees anywhere near your house, sometimes a tree limb can come down and pull that gutter down too. So repairs are important. Make sure that you've got everything going just the way it's supposed to be with your gutters at your home. Call Daniel today anytime you need gutter work done, 205-422-3034. He now has financing available as low as 0% for 21 months. And ask him for that free quote, because I will tell you, he can do it for a lot less than some of these other big companies that you hear about. He's here locally and, again, does a wonderful job. I've seen his work. It's amazing. Take a look on his website, noblecontractorsala.com, also on Facebook, and get him out to your house if you need him today. 205-422-3034, noblecontractorsala.com.
Well, here's an interesting story out of Irvine, California. I don't know if you've seen what Legos go for nowadays.
Ooh, they are pricey.
Yeah, it used to be a fun little thing. You'd get like a set with blocks and some wheels and a few, things, and you would go home and make your own fun. Somewhere along the line, they decided, well, we're going to start telling people what they should make out of these things, and they would then sell you a set that you can turn into
whatever it is.
Whatever it is
A
they
house,
have
a
on the
car,
front.
yeah.
Look, I mean, some of these are very intricate. My daughter had one that was like a vase with flowers in it, and it was
Wow.
all a bunch of very small Lego pieces that I was just like, good luck with that. Dad's not helping, just so you know. But
That's a project that'll just keep on going.
because I have a grandson, I've spent some time in the toy aisle, and I have seen that some of these Lego sets, $600? $600.
Well, we used to have a Lego store. I don't know if it's still there in the Galleria.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well, you don't know if it's still there because you don't go
No,
to
I
the
don't- I
gallery
don't-
because you
well,
don't want to get shot.
And I have a
understand.
grown
Yeah.
son now that doesn't
All right.
really do Legos,
Not
but when
doing
he
the
was
Legos.
younger, it was like, let's go to the Lego store.
Sure.
And you better take out a loan in order to buy your Legos. And I don't know if it was maybe the Lego movie that reignited
Yeah.
Legos, because there was a while there that Legos kind of like
Not cool.
No.
Yeah.
And then it just
I think
the
it's
resurgence.
when, and I'm sure that it was some genius at Lego who said, here's the thing, we're going to start treating these like models, We're going to sell people all the pieces to put together the picture on the front, and then they have to put it together.
Like
So they
the-
build the Millennium Falcon or whatever,
Right.
and maybe a father-son project. They feel good about themselves. Look what we achieved. We follow the directions, blah, blah, blah. Great, good for you. In Irvine, a man bought pricey Lego sets from Target stores nationwide on at least 70 separate occasions, totaling nearly $34,000. He would then remove the Lego pieces from the box, fill the box with dried pasta, and return it to the
no.
store for a refund.
Oh, that's terrible.
Suspect was caught when officers set up surveillance at a Target store. 28-year-old Jarrell Augustine was arrested for grand theft and booked at the Orange County Jail. If your master plan involves swapping Legos for linguine, we can promise your plan will be cooked al dente. Police wrote on Facebook, weren't they clever?
He must have had some type of system. So was he able to like put plastic wrap somehow professionally back on it?
I gotta
because
think,
otherwise, are they not opening it up?
You would think they would take a look.
Take a look, or he just said, I bought this and I'm bringing it back. I didn't open it, and or it was a gift and I don't want it and I want to return it or something.
I would think that there was probably a shrink wrap involved, that he had some ability, which, if you
can easily do
plastic wrap in a hairdryer, you can probably get that thing closed up and then bring it back. It shakes and it sounds like it because there's pasta in there. And you're like, oh, okay, he's
Give
returning
anybody any ideas.
$34,000. 34. You know what was happening, I guarantee it, is they were taking the thing, they were putting it back on the shelf. Then somebody would come along, buy it, take it home, and then they'd open it up and be like, what the hell is this? I just paid a lot of money for this, and it's full of pasta. They called Target, hey, you just sold me a box of pasta.
Would that not be wild?
Bring it back. Target's like, hey, don't try to snow us. We know there was shrink wrap on that. We saw it. We watched you buy it. You're not. It's like after it happens 3, 4, 5 times, they begin to catch on. But what I think is going on here is they say he was buying this from Target stores nationwide. It might be that he was buying it online. He would then get it in. He would take the Lego pieces. He would replace it with
the
pasta, and then he'd take it to a local Target store, but not the same one every time. Yeah, and he had the receipt. He had the online receipt, like, hey, I bought this and I don't want it or whatever. They sent me the wrong thing, whatever.
Should there not be a red flag on somebody that returns that many items?
Well,
because
like I said,
I think there are some stores that are like, hey, this person has brought back like 30 things in the last week.
It was a different store every time.
But
I don't think he went to 70 different stores.
Well,
yeah, they should have been connected, right? Had some idea of what the hell was going on there. But yeah, I think if somebody brings that much stuff back, you got to be like, wait a minute.
Your life would be so much more fulfilled if you just did things the honest way. He went to an awful lot of trouble to do this for $34,000.
$34,000.
And it's going to catch up to you. You're not going to keep on doing this. They're eventually going to catch up after all those people keep coming back with pasta in their Lego box.
Yeah. I'm sure that's when officers said we're going to start staking out the Target stores and see who returns the Legos. Who's returning the Legos? You're not fooling anybody, mister. Express Oil Change is in the business of changing oil and lives right now. $1 for every oil change is going to Children's of Alabama. They've raised over $1.2 million for them thus far. There's an Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers near you. You should go take advantage of it. Get that oil change, 10 minutes or thereabouts. The price is right. They do a great job. I love them. You'll love them. Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers, not just changing oil, they are changing lives.